Hello and welcome to Healthy Mentality. I'm your host, Charles, also known as RMZ. Thank you for being here tonight. If you haven't already, please take a moment to smash those like and subscribe buttons for me. I'd appreciate it. Quick announcement, 2 GLP-1 meetups are happening this year, put on by the same group, and they're a real chance to connect with fellow users and creators face to face, doing it in real life, not just on the screen. The first is Once Upon Atlanta, the Peach Grand Prix, which is Saturday, June 27 at Echo Park Speedway. Tickets are $100 and covers the main event, but the fun actually spans the entire weekend, Friday through Sunday, with pop-ups, casual hangs, and even a Sunday brunch. And then additionally, there's a second one, Once Upon Dallas, which is Glow Up Rodeo is the theme. Saturday, October 17th at AT&T Discovery District Lobby, also $100. More details are coming as the day gets closer on that. Links to both events are down in the description. I'm not making any promises, but there's a chance that you might catch me at one of them, or maybe you won't. I'm just saying. Darren was at the one last year in Atlanta, and he had a great time. But before we begin, a quick disclaimer. I am not a healthcare professional, and neither is my guest. Nothing shared here is medical advice. We're simply sharing our personal experiences and perspectives. Please consult your healthcare team before making any changes to your treatment routine. Now, at the end of the show, we'll have a Q&A. So if you have a question, please drop it in the comments and start it with 3 Qs, or at least just 1 Q, so I can easily find it. Um, and one more thing, if you're a man looking to come on and tell your story, please email me at roundmoundzep@gmail.com. With that said, please join me in welcoming tonight's guests. Ben, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Want to give a quick intro of yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Ben. I am from the Chicagoland area. So 44 years of age, married with 3 kids.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I was telling you before we came on, you're the third man in a row from Chicago. Something going on. There's something in the water in Chicago with the
Yeah,
GLP-1s, man. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
thanks.
All right. Ben, you let me know before that you started Mounjaro in June of 2025 and that you're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Now, did that diagnosis come at that moment, or were you diagnosed as a diabetic before that?
Yeah, so I think a couple years before that, and keeping up with like annual physicals, my doctor always shared like you're pre-diabetic and need to make some lifestyle changes. But I never really took that seriously. And so May of 2025, I got pretty sick and, just kind of having some symptoms. And I think one of the worst things you could do was Google your symptoms. So I Googled my symptoms and it's like, yeah, I need to go to the doctor. And so I made an appointment. Um, Went to the doctor and the doctor was like, okay, we need to do some blood work and kind of run some tests and see what's going on. So he ran my blood work and it came back, my A1C was high, my glucose was high, my weight had shot up. And he officially diagnosed me with type 2 diabetes. And so that conversation, based off of what the numbers said and how I was feeling, the doctor pretty much he scared me straight
Yeah.
and he was like, like this is reality, and the symptoms you're having, like they're not going to go away on their own. Like you have to make some serious changes and really discipline yourself. And so, from that moment on, just kind of locked in. I think I started Manjaro about 2 weeks later, and yeah, so that was the moment. So yeah, beginning of summer of last year.
What warning signs were you or side effects were you experiencing up to that
Yeah, so
diagnosis?
um, Yeah, so neuropathy. And so in my left hand, my left foot, like dealing with that numbness, that tingling sensation, dumping syndrome. My body just like eliminating, pretty much stuff like pretty much all of whatever was in my system for the day. I'm just kind of dumping that, and just like those feelings of extreme fatigue, and that like cloudiness, and like just not being able to think clearly, always being tired. So yeah, those are the symptoms. I always being thirsty. That's what I was experiencing.
Yeah. What went through your mind when you got that diagnosis?
Yeah, first thing that went through my mind is was thinking like just like I fumbled the bag, So I'm a couple years into a new opportunity, new job opportunity, and really enjoying that experience and all the things that I'm being exposed to, the opportunities that I have to lead and make an impact in the areas, the work that I'm doing, and my family, my wife, my kids, my siblings, and just thinking through like that lack of discipline, and what that put me in a position to not possibly not be able to enjoy life. So it put a lot of stuff in perspective for me. And just driving home, I remember driving home from the doctor in silence and just feeling like like this is something that I ignored the warning signs. I ignored the advice of a doctor, and just really continued to live life the way that I was living life, and not really making any changes under the recommendation of a doctor, and just like I've messed this up, and that fear of what's going to happen next. Have I cut my life short? Um, like am I going to be it for my kids? Am I going to be it for my wife? So all those emotions were kind of running through my brain. And I remember having a conversation with a close friend of mine, like a day later, and he was like, "All right, you had 24 hours. Now it's time to lock in and do what the doctor said that you should be doing, and you can rebound from this. You can come back from this." And so, yeah, that was my initial emotion. Just really feeling horrible about decisions that I made, and feeling that I put myself in this situation.
Yeah. So what kind of discussions are taking place with your wife around this time with your health?
Yeah, and so um, just the reality of like like I have to do better, not only for myself but also my entire household is following suit. Right. So if I have bad habits, and my kids are watching me, they're going to follow in those bad habits. And so the opportunity that I have to be the leader of the household, to step up, to lead by example, and to exercise that level of discipline that's needed, and really kind of set the tone. So it starts with me as a husband, starts as a with me as a father. So those are a few of the conversations we were having, and just like what it means to be healthy,
Yeah.
um, and not just to not be diabetic, but just being able to enjoy life on another level.
Nice. So your doctor put you on Mounjaro. Were there discussions about
Yes.
maybe Ozempic or metformin, or was it just Mounjaro?
Yeah, just Manjaro. He recommended Manjaro. He himself had been on Manjaro, and he was talking about the benefits, some of the side effects. So we didn't talk about Ozempic or anything like that. It was pretty much straight conversation, straight to Manjaro.
Man, you lucked up. I mean, how many times do you get to have a doctor that is on one of these medications? Because a lot of us are struggling to educate our providers on these medications, on
Wow.
how they react and what we should do and all of that. I know when I started, my
Wow.
doctor didn't know anything about it.
Mm,
So that's good, and had a provider that's on the medication itself. So
yeah.
how did that discussion go? Did he or she tell you how the medication worked, how you would use it, how you inject it, and all that?
Yeah. So it was interesting because I feel like a lot of that conversation was a blur, and then he reaches in this drawer and he pulls out like a dummy pen, if you will. And he's like, "It's real simple. You just turn it. You click it. You wait. Just like he's just walking me through it." And I just remember that instruction, of him just being really straight to the point, really straightforward, about the side effects, and what you can when the side effects get too extreme, and what to do, and when to reach out and when not to reach out, and what's normal, what's not normal. And so it kind of felt like when he was sharing, like this is what's taking place, and this is what you can experience. It feels like walking out of there, like he gave me a lot of clarity about like what I can expect.
Man, you was ahead of the game, ahead of the game. So when you started, what was your weight and your A1C?
Yeah, so my starting weight was 373, and my A1C was at the time was 6.8.
And did you have any other comorbidities, sleep apnea, hypertension, lipid
Yes.
issues, high cholesterol?
Yeah, so all the above. So sleep apnea going on probably 20 years now. Um, High cholesterol, high blood pressure, all those things. Um, yeah, so those are things like even before the type 2 diagnosis, I was already on high blood pressure medication. I was already on a cholesterol medication, already on a CPAP machine. So yes, all of that.
Now, have you, since being on it, have you been able to decrease your other medications or come off of any of them yet?
Yeah, so I'm no longer taking the medication for high cholesterol, and my blood pressure medicine has been decreased to the lowest dose. So my blood pressure, I don't think in all of my adult years, my blood pressure has never looked this good.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So what?
all my labs are well within normal range now.
That's great. That's great. Now, has your sleep apnea improved any where you have to adjust your pressure down, or is that still in process?
Still in process. I'm probably going to once I reach a certain threshold, I'll probably schedule another sleep study just to
Hmm.
see where I'm at. And I think more so now, like I've gotten accustomed to the noise. It's like
Yeah.
I just need the noise of the CPAP machine. Um, but yeah, I would imagine that as I keep trending in the right direction, I'll probably end up coming off that as well.
So your CPAP machine is your white noise, huh?
Absolutely.
That's the first time I heard that. My wife would kick me with that noise making that machine making noise, especially if it wasn't sealed right.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you started at 2.5, being that you were with a doctor that knew what they were doing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Started at 2.5 for about 3 months. I think I was on 2.5 before increasing to five.
so 2.5 for 2 months, and then five. And what dose are you on now?
Now I'm on 12.5.
12.5. Okay. And how long you been on 12.5?
I am halfway through my first box.
Okay. Okay. And how's that treating you?
It's touch and go at the very beginning, dealing with all some of the more notable side effects, the atrocious sulfur burps. But it's calmed down now. So yeah, it's kind of feels a little better now.
Now, I'm assuming your A1C is normal now. You said your labs are green. You know where that's at now? Where that stands?
Yes, my A1C now was at 5.2 the last time my labs were ran.
Uh, you're right there with me. My last one was 5.1 a few weeks ago. So that's awesome. So what was the first thing you noticed when you started taking the medication?
Man, it knocked my appetite out like immediately. I had to force myself to eat and just like remind myself to eat, and so that was the first thing that I noticed. I think the early on I was addicted to activity and getting on the scale. So getting on the scale every single day, addicted to seeing the scale move. And those first couple months, I mean, it moved like lightning. Like
Yeah.
like it felt like the weight was just falling off, and just breathing different, and just like the way my body is like just like the way my clothes fit was completely different. Like those first couple months was just tremendous, just change, just like radical change early on.
Nice. So you've lost 57 pounds, unless there's been a change since last week, which is incredible. Um, when did you notice that the medication was really working?
I would say one of my first non-scale victories. I had to get on a flight, and a couple years ago, I mean, I can talk about it now. But a couple years ago, like I just went on Amazon and bought like belt extensions for like all the airlines. So I'm
Yeah.
like, if I'm flying somewhere, I'll just use a belt extension, and that had just kind of become the norm whenever I was going somewhere. And I bought the belt extensions because I kind of got tired and almost borderline like ashamed of asking the stewardess like, hey, can I get a belt extension? So I was like, I'll just reach in my carry on and just grab my own. But I hopped on a flight, and I didn't know what to expect, and I said I'm just gonna give it a shot. And not only did I not need a belt extension, I had like a lot of slack in the line, and I was just like I was floored.
Yeah.
So I think that's, I think we're the probably the last person to see change in ourselves. And so when I experienced that, that was like the game changer when it was like, okay, like this is working and I'm heading in the right direction. And that was just like an instant confidence boost, um,
Yeah.
to see that change.
So beyond the scale, what other changes have you noticed? I know you saw improvement on your blood pressure, your lab work. Are you seeing more energy, more confidence, and all of that?
Definitely a lot more energy. Like I said, my clothes have fit different. I've gone down a couple shirt sizes, gone down a couple pant sizes. A lot more energy. My office is up a couple flights of stairs, and so I can either take the elevator, which I had been doing. I was being lazy, so I can either take the elevator or I can take the stairs. And the stairs, like it's one of those things you never get accustomed to taking stairs.
Yeah.
And so now taking the stairs, when I do take the stairs, like just I'm no longer out of breath as much, when I reach the top of those stairs, and so my energy is much different. That early afternoon, like after lunch, where I would normally just get really sleepy, that is pretty much gone. Just the clarity, the mental clarity, that sharpness is definitely back. And so, yeah, so many positives. My skin is transformed, and so like I can see it, in my hands. I can see it in my elbows and stuff like that. My skin is transformed a lot as well. So those are a lot of things I've noticed.
So I always say, no, the medication is a tool. You still have to do the work. So, what other lifestyle changes have you implemented?
Yes, so I am in Chicago, so it's hard to walk outside during the winter months. But late summer, early fall, up until the time the weather changed, me and my wife would get up and we would just walk. We live in a very scenic area, and so we would walk and go down by the river and just walk a couple miles each morning. Sometimes walk in the evening, and just seeing the ability that we had to just go further and further. Started out just doing maybe a mile, or walking for 20, 30 minutes, and then working our way up to 45 minutes, an hour, sometimes 2 hours. Walking to a breakfast spot on a Saturday morning, and still feeling like I've got some energy, or being able to get on a bike and ride 12, 13, 14 miles, and just that physical activity. I had a couple years ago, I had really bad Achilles pain, and a lot of it was inflammation, related to inflammation, and that's pretty much resolved itself since being on the medication. And so that's assisted in giving me the ability to be a little more active and to move around a lot more. And so yeah,
I think
that,
that's
that
one of the underrated things about this medication is the inflammation in the
yeah,
joints. That helped me out tremendously. Yes, being able to stay active and do what I needed to do. I think people just don't talk about that
yeah.
enough.
Yeah, that Achilles pain. I mean, it was immobilizing. Like, just that the stiffness in the ankle, and even wanting to get up and walk, but just wrestling with that. And so that is gone. Um, so yeah, just getting out and walking, just doing something as simple, just getting out and walking, and just challenging myself to go further and further. Um, that's felt really good. I'm looking forward to the weather changing here in the Chicagoland area, to be able to get out and be in the sun and get to walking again. So walking on a treadmill is doable, but it's nothing like being outside and
Yeah.
being out in nature.
Well, you mentioned to me now you're doing 5Ks.
Yes,
So how
yeah,
does that feel to go from 373, 374 pounds to doing 5Ks?
yeah. So it feels great. That was a goal of mine when I set my goals. I didn't want to just have a goal that said, "Hey, I want to keep losing weight," or I want to keep being active. I wanted to actually set something that was obtainable, and something that kind of challenged me and pushed me. And so um, I follow a couple guys on social media, and just looking at some of the things that some guys are doing, I was like, man, I think I want to think I want to start doing 5Ks. And so my first 5K last year was a turkey trot. Um, and I think that was probably to date last year, like that was like the coldest day. It was like
Hmm.
8 degrees Thanksgiving morning. And so I pull up and I'm looking at all these like professional runners. So I'm like, do I want to do this and or do I not want to do it? And I'm like, I'm here now. I might as well just lock in and get it done. And I'm glad I did. So that kind of just started this transition of like, okay, like I want to do this more. And so I did that first one back on Thanksgiving. Did another one a couple weeks later. A Santa, call it like a Santa's run through the lights. It's like this whole Christmas themed run through the lights at night type thing. So I did that one. New Year's Day, I did a virtual 5K on the lakefront. So it's been great. It's been great to it's me against me. And so looking at my time from the last 5K that I did and pushing myself, I'm not running the entire thing yet. So I'm alternating. So I'm
Yeah.
running, walking, but just challenging myself and really, really pushing myself. Then I get the medal at the end, so I get to collect some hardware
Yeah.
at the end. So I've been doing that. My next one is lined up for the beginning of May, so I'll start, getting ready for that. But it's just a personal challenge, just to pursue something and to get out there and reach that finish line. I think it helps keeps me motivated to be
Yeah,
active.
that's a good segue. So I was getting ready to ask, since you've been, seems like activity has been central to your journey so far. So what role has that played in maintaining your focus?
Yeah, so it's helped me a lot. I think when I feel like I've hit a stall, it's really related to one of three areas. I think what I'm seeing is either my water intake, what I'm eating, or my level of activity. And so, like when I'm checking all three of those boxes, I feel more confident. I feel like things are moving in the direction that they should be moving, and so it keeps me focused. And so that level of motivation towards physical activity is just like, okay, like I can look at my watch or I can look at my fitness tracker and say like, what have I done this week or what have I not done this week? Or I'm not, maybe I need to get up from my desk and I need to walk around, just to really, really push myself. If I look at the end of the week and it's like, oh, I could have done more miles this week or I could have did more minutes. Just really keeping me focused and locked in.
Nice. So is there a nutrition approach that you take, or is there are you relying on the medicine to just stop you from eating, or are you doing something forward, like focusing on protein, whole foods, or things of that nature?
Yeah, so early on, I was scared to touch a piece of bread. I was scared to touch a carb. And so I really just went super strict early on. I think those first maybe 3 or 4 months. Once the fall hit, I lightened up just a little bit. I'm still doing a level of intermittent fasting, and I'm only eating um, like at most really like 2 times a day. And so I've lightened up. I will consume just a few more carbs than I was doing early on, but I have been a little more mindful of what I was eating before. One of the things that I've realized is I can't deal with a lot of the things that I was eating before, and even when I say before, like it was still on some level kind of making me sick to a
Mhm.
degree. But I can't deal with it. So I'm a kind of person like I love to barbecue, um,
Speaking my
and
language.
yeah, like I love to get after it. But I can't really eat brisket like I used to eat brisket.
Yeah.
I can't really eat ribs like I used to eat ribs before, and so I'll still do it, but in much more moderation, and try to like even now, like I love a good taco, but I've come to like fish tacos a lot more
Right.
as of late, and so really rethinking, some of the things before, like my wife would always try to introduce me to like a Coke Zero or something like that. And I'm like, no, I don't like the way it tastes. Like I'm not gonna try that. But now it's like I love it. So yeah, like rethinking the things that I did before versus the way that I operate now, and just being more mindful. Um, yeah, just try to change that perspective of what I'm consuming.
Gotcha. So, how has this journey changed your both your mindset and your confidence so far?
Yeah, so I think at the very beginning, I think I was looking for like a forerunner, so to speak. And so I'm like, okay, who was on this journey, and who has found success on this journey? Because it's one thing to hear it from a doctor and hear that doctor's experience, but I started looking for like um, who else has gone down this path and who else has had this experience. So I stumbled across your page because I was just searching. I saw a ton of women sharing their journey, being very transparent about their journey and offering some great feedback, which was great, which was very helpful. But I was like, man, there's got to be some men out here that have gone down this path and have found success. So I stumbled across your page, um, and I was like, "Oh wow!" And then that's when I initially reached out. Last year when I was first starting the journey, and so I think from there, it's shown me that this is not. I'm not on this journey by myself, and I think that one of the greatest tricks is thinking that we live in isolation and
Yeah.
that we're doing something solo. So that's helped me and that's changed my perspective. I'm the kind of person like I like to find solutions. I like to resolve things, but I think I had reached a place at the very beginning where it's like okay, um, and so then I've got to find a level of community. I've got to find a level of like who's further ahead than I am, and can I look at this person as a model, as an example? So some of the other men that have been on your program have really served as that inspiration. So it's kind of shifted my mindset to realize like I'm not doing this in isolation, and even if I'm in Chicago and you're halfway across the country, there's still a level of community that exists because I'm able to see someone else's journey and be inspired by that. So I think that's one of the first um, shifts that I've really experienced. Is just feeling like I don't have to be in isolation in this.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what this channel is all about. Someone's going to see your story and gain inspiration from it as well. So, um, I I just hope that we continue to pass the baton and make it normal for men to have these discussions and use these medications and get out in front and take their health by the horns. Um, so, did you notice any shift in how you see yourself once the weight started coming off?
Yeah. So part of what I do is public speaking. So I'm a pastor, staff pastor at the church, and I spend some time on stage, spend some time on camera, and seeing myself on camera. And I hate seeing myself on stage. But I think when I really started to see a change in how my clothes fit, and the energy that I was feeling, like it prompted me to like just take a look and just see like how am I walking, how am I standing, how am I speaking, and seeing that transformation just from the way I see myself. It was motivational. Just to keep going. Other people starting to see like, hey, are you losing weight? Are you slimming down? And being able to share portions of my journey with people, that was really inspirational to say like other people see you and that they're proud of your journey and they want to see you succeed. But it also changed the way that I saw myself. Yeah.
So we can see the change there. That's you in 2024 versus you now. You can definitely see the change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Yeah. I
was
took a
go ahead.
I was gonna say I took a trip to to Nicaragua with my son on a mission trip. 2023, I think that
Uh-huh.
was. Um, and I thought I was gonna pass out. I mean, it was so hot,
Yeah.
it was so hot. But I would say, like, looking back on it now, like, even during that trip, that was like the spring of no, that was the spring of 2024. Yeah, spring of 2024. I was probably even larger than the 373. Like, looking at it now, but it was really like, oh, like, looking back, like, I didn't see it in the moment, but looking back on those pictures, looking back on this picture from 2024, and looking at this picture from 2026, like, I can definitely see just how much of a change is taking place.
Yeah, it's very, very evident. So this one looks like you're wearing the same shirt, but you can see the change, the
Yeah,
transformation, how that shirt is fitting, how slim your face is. You're looking great.
thank you.
Was that picture on the of the large you? Was that in 2025 or 2024?
That was Super Bowl Sunday of 2024. The picture on the left. Yep.
I think this one more. And then it's a updated picture. Was that the trip to Nicaragua?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's 2024 versus now. It looks like you're standing
Yeah.
in church.
Yes.
Yeah. Looking great, man. You're looking great.
Thank you.
So on this journey, what has been the biggest mental challenge for you?
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest mental challenges is just to stay motivated. Um, I think, there obviously there's tons of studies on this, but when the sun is not shining, when there's no vitamin D out, and just how much the toll that takes on your mental health and your emotional state.
Mhm.
So even during those colder months where I can't just get up and go outside and walk for an hour, just to stay motivated, just to stay locked in. So that's been one of the tougher challenges. My job is sedentary, so I spend a lot of time in meetings, a lot of time sitting behind a desk, a lot of time on Zoom. Um, so trying to stay motivated to take the stairs or to get up and go for a walk, and then also just to eat better.
Yeah.
If I'm not in a meeting, I'm having a lunch meeting, and it can be tempting to order something that you're not supposed to be eating, and you're not supposed to order something that when you're on this medication, something that it tastes good in the moment, but you're gonna pay for it later.
Yeah.
So all of those things, and so those have been some of the harder things, just to stay locked in, just to stay focused. I feel like whenever I go up a dose, it takes me about a week or two to get acclimated, and it can feel like almost like push you to that point where it's like, yeah, like, is this worth it, or um, can I achieve this any other way without dealing with some of these side effects? And so, just trying to push through that and say this is worth it, and I'll be better in the long run if I just keep moving forward. And so, yeah, I think looking back at pictures, looking back at and seeing just how far I've come helps keep me motivated. Um, every now and then, when I reach a new milestone, I'll kind of go back through my closet and just filter through pants that I need to get rid of, and shirts that I need to get rid of, and things that I need to donate. And so those are the things I try to do mentally to kind of keep me locked in.
Yeah, that's a great approach. Do you notice that your mind hasn't caught up with your body yet at times, and looking at those pictures kind of kicks it in for you?
Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like fighting the urge to feel like, well, I'm not as far as I could be, or I'm not as far as I should be. But then also realizing, like, well, close to 60 pounds is a lot of pounds to lose in less than a year.
Yeah.
Um, and so, like, it's very easy to kind of get trapped in that cycle of, oh, I'm not as far along as I want to be, but then realizing, like, no, I've come a long way. And so every now and then it can feel really easy to get caught in that cycle. But I think that's when the pictures come in handy. Like, I'll just sit and kind of scroll through a couple pictures or look at a video or something like that, like, oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's a pretty big change.
yeah, yeah. It's important to give yourself grace because you've come a long way. Almost 60
Thank
pounds
you.
in less than a year. Like to say, comparison is the thief of joy. So you don't have to compare your journey to anyone else. Just
Yeah,
walk your walk. You know.
yeah,
Um, the one of the main reasons why I started this particular platform or series is to get men to talk about health because we often don't talk about it, whatever it is. Do you find that true in your own life with your friends group, the other men in your family, and all of that?
yeah. I think with my friends, with my siblings, with my father-in-law, my father, we're very transparent in the way that we talk about health. It's actually my father-in-law that encouraged me some years ago to go get a sleep study, and so yeah, I think we're very transparent because it's those, it's busting those myths that black men don't care about their physical health, black men don't care about their emotional health, black men don't go to the doctor, but so really breaking that up, and then like I've got kids, I've got a son, and so
Yeah,
I want my son to see the importance of taking care of yourself, and what that means, and what that looks like, and so yeah, I think I've got a high level of transparency with the people that I'm connected to. My sister, I've got a sister that's walked down this journey and that's seen great results. I've got coworkers that are on this journey, and we're being able to share stories and testimonials, and really keep one another encouraged. But we cannot do that if we hide behind this shroud of everything's fine,
yeah,
um, and really peel back that layer to say, hey, this is what's going on with me. This is what I'm experiencing. I remember having a conversation with my lead pastor back when I first got sick, and we were just talking through some things, and he was just sharing with me, like, like most people do not change until the weight of remaining the same outweighs the weight of actually changing. And so, really stepping into that and really feeling that encouragement, and even having somebody that's technically outside of my journey that's still checking on me, asking questions, keeping me motivated. And so, yeah, I try to live a life that's a little more transparent, and just really sharing pieces of my journey and what I'm experiencing, because I feel that that's gonna motivate others, and that's gonna encourage other people.
yeah. So, and earlier you mentioned that you got the diagnosis and you put it off for a while, taking care of your health. And that seems to be the norm for a lot of men, even though, the alarms are going off, the warning signs are there. We put off going to the doctor. Why do you think that is? Why was that the case in your situation?
Yeah, it's just so my dad's a boomer, and so like I don't think I ever saw my dad take a day off of work,
Yeah,
and so it's like I'm gonna take a day off of work and go to the doctor. It's like that hardworking generation that you just see grind it out
yeah,
and just do what needs to be done. And so I think I've taken on some of those characteristics. I think, when I look at me and my siblings, I look at some of my friends who have parents of similar mindset. Like, we just keep going, we just keep moving forward. And I think that it's important to be resilient. It's important to be motivated, to keep moving forward. But I also think that it's important to just be able to pause, and rest, and not run yourself into the ground, and practice a level of self care. And I don't think that we are innately taught that. I
yeah,
don't think that we're really taught like the importance of self care, the importance of knowing where you stand, knowing your numbers, what is your cholesterol, what's your blood pressure, knowing how to check your blood pressure for yourself, knowing how to check your blood sugar for yourself, and really being able to do those things as just practices rather than just like, oh, now I have to do it because now I've got a diagnosis. And so I think I've had to learn that
yeah,
over time, and like really really undo um, some of that emotional just drive and just be able to pause and say like, okay, what do I need to do in this moment to take care of myself?
Now, there's probably someone out there watching this right now that is having some health concerns, or they're even considering getting on one of these GLP-1 medications. What would you say to them about starting this journey?
Yeah. So one of the realizations I had is I'm 44 years old, um, and I've, I'm nobody's perfect, and I'm far from perfect, and I have put far worse stuff in my body. Um, so learning that I don't have to fear, a medication that is offering just a boost, level of assistance, a level of support, and I don't have to fear that. I don't have to
Yeah,
fear the needle. I don't have to fear injecting myself. Um, like I can really push through all of that stuff. But I would say, um, if you've got stuff going on in your body and you don't know what it is, but you know that it's not right, right? You know that something's off. You know that um, your body needs an oil change. You need a tune up. Whatever the case may be, whatever you're feeling, don't be scared to go to the doctor. Don't be scared to know um, what's going on with you internally. And I think one of the things I've done, not only with this journey of losing weight and getting healthier, but I've also, like, I sit down with therapists on a consistent basis. And so working on the mental, emotional aspect of things, as well as working on the physical side of things. And so I've seen just what that's done in my life. And so I would encourage any man who is navigating stress and strain and the difficulties of life and trying to figure out, you know, I don't feel 100%. Talk to a doctor, talk to a therapist, and just know where you stand, and not only know where you stand, but also don't be afraid to create a plan to move forward, to be healthy, to be whole. It's better to know what's going on than just to be in the dark, and really kind of rolling the dice, hoping that something's going to resolve itself on its own.
I love that you brought up the mental health aspect of not just this journey, but of life, because there's so many of us out there just languishing in pain and hurt and despair, and um, nowhere to turn to or no one to talk to about it, or feel we can't talk to anyone about it. So I love that you brought that up. So now you've encouraged them to start the medication. What advice would you give to them um, as they start the medication? It's something that you would have known when you started.
Yeah, do your homework. Know what those symptoms can be. Like if you're having side effects, knowing when to call a doctor, knowing what symptoms are normal, knowing what symptoms are not normal, just really paying attention to yourself, um, and also pay attention to not just what the scale is doing, but also those non-scale victories. And so I think at this stage in the game for me, the non-scale victories have become more important than the scale victories. And so really focusing on like what are the things that I want to accomplish that I was not able to accomplish before. And so for me, it's the getting on the plane and not needing a belt extension. It's the beating my previous time with a 5K, and just knowing that you're moving in the right direction. Because if you only focus on the scale, the moment that scale doesn't say what you expect it to say, it can shatter that house of cards. And so, just being able to lock in and say, okay, these are the non-scale victories, the things that I want to see, and really pursue those even more than pursuing like what the scale is saying. I mean, watching that scale early on can become addicting,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
but then like looking to see, I'm at the doctor every 3 months doing blood work and looking to see, like, I want to see what my blood work is doing. I want to see what my cholesterol is doing. I want to see what my blood pressure is doing. So really zooming out and just saying like, I don't just want to lose weight, right? I want to feel better. I want to have more energy, and really being able to itemize all of those things to lock in on what that looks like.
that's great. So, looking back, what has been your single biggest key to your success so far?
The single biggest key to my success. Whew. Um, I would say, so I'm a person of faith. So I would say my relationship with the Lord. And so really being able to zero in on, I think early on those, reflect back on those initial emotions. There was a lot of repentance that took place in that.
Yeah,
Because this is not something that somebody did to me. This is something that I did to myself. And so realizing that like I've fumbled this temple that God gave me, and what are the things that I need to do to move in the right direction. And to repent means to just do a 180.
yeah,
It means that you were walking in one direction, and now you got to turn around and you got to walk in the right direction. And so for me, I've used it as a catalyst to really strengthen my faith in some areas. Um, because when I'm out there and I'm walking or I'm riding a bike, it's a time of reflection. It's a time of just prayer and meditation and locking in on what that looks like. And so that's been that's been huge for me. And I think even in the midst of that, I'm reminded that even though yes, like these are life choices that I made, these are mistakes that I made, not exercising, not eating right, overindulging, like do all these things that I know I should not be doing. I think the fact that I've trended in the right direction, because I do believe that God is able to work through medicine. And so I see it as a miracle in my own life. I see it as just a second chance and another opportunity to do the things that I know that I'm supposed to do the things that I know that I'm called to do. So that's been, to me, that's been the core most component of this journey is just the strengthening of my faith.
I love that answer. That's great. Chat, I see you guys. The chat is jumping. I think there's just one question in there. So if you guys have some questions now, it's time to get to them because that's coming up here soon. All right, Ben, you started your journey at 374. You lost 57 pounds. Your labs have improved. You're out here running 5Ks. When you look a year out from now, what does success look like for you?
Yeah, more activity. Um, yeah, I think working my way up, record times, like being able to run that entire 3.1, moving on to knocking out some 10Ks, continuing to trend in the right direction, getting off that. Oh, I got booted. I'm
Yeah.
back.
Okay. There we go.
Can you hear me? Okay?
Yep. Gotcha.
All right. Yeah. So continuing to trend in the right direction. Running some 5Ks, running some 10Ks, getting off the CPAP machine, getting off blood pressure medicine, getting off cholesterol medication. So yeah, that's what success looks like for me.
Yep. That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to see you run that 10K. Get some PRs. That'd be great.
Yes, sir.
All right, some rapid fire questions, and then we'll go to the chat for some questions. One word to describe how you feel today compared to when you started.
One word. Can it be hyphenated?
Yeah,
I would say
yeah.
brand new.
I'm brand new.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I feel brand new. Yeah.
What's something that you can do today that you couldn't do at 374?
Go up and down the stairs without running out of breath.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling well. The biggest surprise about being on Mounjaro so far.
The biggest surprise. It really should not have been a surprise. Um, but it's one of those things like seeing it work for other people and then wondering, is it going to work for me?
Right.
So it actually working for me.
Yeah.
So that was somewhat of a surprise for me.
What keeps you motivated on the days that you do not feel motivated?
Yeah, my family, my wife, my kids. My son has reached that age where he's lifting and he's toning up, and so I can't let him outdo me. And so that keeps me it keeps me motivated.
I love that. If someone is watching this tonight and they are where you were in June of 2025, what would you tell them?
Man, don't be afraid to start the journey. There is, there can be a lot of fear surrounded by, like where you're at and what the future holds, what tomorrow holds. But don't be afraid to start that journey.
Love that. All right, it's Q&A time. All right. From my man Grant. Grant, thanks for joining us tonight. Grant says, "You're for sure not alone, Ben. You found the right place for support. How long have you been running? I'm not a runner, but my wife loves it."
Yeah, so I don't think I would still classify myself as a runner. I'm just trying to get out there and do something. I'm trying to do something different. I'm trying to do something creative. And so, yeah, I think I'm working up to that, to getting to the place where I would consider myself a runner. So I go between like a run and a jog and a walk, but not long. This past Thanksgiving was my first 5K that I've done. So yeah, not long at all.
All right. All right. K.A. Brown asks, "Do you feel like it's your responsibility to motivate and inform others?"
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I have a responsibility to to share my journey, because I feel like there are a lot of people who are not taking their health seriously, like I was not taking my health seriously. And so I think I have a responsibility to share my story, to share my journey, and to help inspire other people.
Okay. And Paula doesn't have a question, but she wants you to know that you will inspire many. Thank you for that,
Thank you,
Paula.
Paula. Yeah, thank you.
I don't see any other questions. I guess I just did such a good job at interviewing you that I took all their questions away from them.
Yeah, yeah. All of your interviews are amazing. I appreciate you, just really opening yourself up and just sharing your journey. I think what's helped motivate me, and really inspired me to say like, okay, this is possible. I think the one of the first videos I saw, it was the soundtrack was the AZ I'm back, and I was like, wait a minute, like this is somebody that shares, not only the journey but also just the love for hip hop.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think I've been a follower ever since. So I really appreciate you being vulnerable and transparent and informational.
Yeah.
Just all of the wisdom and the knowledge and the research that you've done, to really illuminate, like, like what are the options and what's taking place in the industry. It's been extremely helpful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, I am a hip hop head till I die. Till I die. All right. We got some more questions coming in here. King Darian wants to know, how do you go from the couch to a 5K and now a 10K? What was the physical mindset shift?
Yeah, so my mother-in-law runs marathons, and so like I'll talk to her every now and then. I'll pick her brain about certain things, but also Chat GPT. So I don't pay for any kind of app, um, but I'll talk to Chat GPT and say like, this is where I'm at. This is my goal. This is my plan, and Chat helps me develop. Run for this long, jog for this long, walk for this long. It helps me really kind of be better than the last time. As far as mindset is concerned, um, yeah, I got to have my music. I gotta have my playlist, and so I curate my playlist based on how I'm feeling. It keeps me locked in, and so I know if I reach a certain song, I should be at a certain mile, and so that music helps me stay motivated and stay locked in and stay focused. Helps keep my mental state, really focused on the goal in front of me. And so I really try to use that as motivation. I feel like our bodies are capable of much more than we think they are, and so I try to push myself to that limit. I think the hardest one that I've done in the last couple months was the New Year's Day one because it was on the lakefront and it was so cold that day. But I feel like once I get out there, once I get a mile and a half out there, like I got to come back. So I just got to keep going and just telling myself like you just push yourself to you can't push yourself anymore, but then you got to turn around and you got to go back. And so you can't call it Uber in the middle of the
Yeah.
race. So you got to get to the finish line, and so that
Yeah.
that keeps me focused.
Yeah, love that. And Chad, I apologize if this stream is kind of choppy. There was a software update, and I'm not sure if it's choppy on your end or not, but hopefully it's still watchable. I guess it is since you're all here still.
And there's a storm where I'm at, so that could have something to do with it as well.
Yeah, okay. All right. K.A. Brown wants to know, has your fashion changed?
No, my style is my style, and so jeans, button ups, um, Jordan ones. Um, yeah, my style remains the same. I like to keep it consistent. I am a sneakerhead for sure. But yeah, my style has not changed. I've actually dressed the same for the last 26, 27 years. But the sizes have changed. And so, yeah, I keep it classic. Jeans, button up, and Jordan 1s. That's my style.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, huh?
Yes, sir.
Positive T Trucker, who will be my next guest on, I think the 17th. No, not 17th. Sorry, the 24th, which is down streaming down below. What does maintenance look like for you? Do you have a plan for maintenance?
I do not have a plan for maintenance. I guess I'll cross that bridge with my doctor when I get there. But I haven't started to think about that yet. Um, I keep thinking about where do I want to land? Like, what's my ultimate goal? But I haven't really started thinking about maintenance once I reach that goal.
All right, the protein queen wants to know, how much protein do you strive for daily?
Yeah, so the goal is 100 grams. It, hitting or missing that really depends on the day of the week because I have a pretty busy lifestyle, and so between a mixture of protein shakes and other sources through meals, I try to. That's my target.
Yeah, Grace is gonna have 100 grams of protein consumed before she gets out the bed. She, I love her what she eats in the day. She plans it well. And thank you, Paula, for this comment. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. And back to Paula. Ben, my 26-year-old has just started Zepbound. How should I encourage him without being too pushy as a mom?
Yeah, so I look at it from the perspective like so my dad is on he's not on Mounjaro, he's on a different medication. And my dad had been kind of sharing bits and pieces of his journey with me for years. Um, and when I would go to the doctor, I would come back, I'd share like, hey, I went to the doctor and the doctor said XYZ. And he would tell me like, you need to do this, you need to do that, or you should do this. And my dad has lost a substantial amount of weight as well. Um, but I would never listen because at the end of the day, like he's my dad and I'm an adult.
Yeah.
And I think that you can say it all day long till the cows come home. But until he hears it, he can hear the exact same thing from somebody else, and he's going to come home and say, "Mom, guess what so and so said?" And so I think encouraging other voices and other motivating factors, and people that he can see and say like, okay, that's the person that I can emulate. That's the person that I can model. I think if he sees that and builds some community around that, some relationship around that, he'll be able to lock into that. Because at the end of the day, like I mean, I'm experiencing it now with teenagers. Like they start to tune us out. So when somebody else, they can say the exact same thing, and it's groundbreaking for them. But I would encourage other sources, other resources. Just the many people that benefit from this channel, and just seeing those stories and those experiences. And so I think that would be probably be very helpful for him.
Great answer. Carnivore Muscle. I think this is the first time he's joined us live. Appreciate you joining us. But he says he gets 430 daily, and I believe it because he's carnivore. I believe it. G's 101. And with the super chat, I gotta give you the which one I gotta give you here. I'll give you the applause. Thank you, G's. I always appreciate you dropping in. You my guy, my ace. Appreciate you. Let's see, did we got another? Uh-oh. The Queen, Mel B. Thank you for the super chat, Mel. I got to give you a applause too. Thank you. I appreciate you, Mel. Appreciate you. She wants to know, do you plan on staying on these treatments for life, or would you try other GLP-1s, GIP, glucagon treatments, or orals?
Yeah, I think I would. I think the last conversation I had with my doctor a couple months ago, he was just sharing like what's coming down the pipeline and what's being released, and I think I would try an oral medication over an injection. Not that I'm having any kind of trouble or problems with the injections, but I think I would try something else. I think it's working for me, and so I don't think, at least right now, I don't have a reason to maybe branch out and try something else. I mean, I've read some things, I've heard some things, Charles. I've heard some of the things that you've shared. As of right now, I really don't. Ideally, like, would not want to stay on it for life. Um, but I would be looking forward to see like what the future holds, what maintenance looks like. I do know one thing is for certain. I don't want to go in reverse, so I don't want to go back to what I felt like, what I look like, and so I do want to keep moving in the right direction and staying in that, in that healthier range. So yeah, I think once I reach my goal, and once we talk about maintenance, I'll explore like what the future looks like for that.
So, with you being type 2, would your preference to be able to roll off of this and do some kind of insulin treatment instead, or
That would be my preference, yes.
yeah, okay, great answer. Uh-oh, carnivore, thank you. I got to give you applause too. With the Euro symbol from overseas. Appreciate you for extra protein. Appreciate you. Uh, and I think that is it. I think we've come to the end unless there are any other questions. If not, then Ben, I wanted to thank you for joining us tonight. You have been a great guest with some great answers, and hopefully you'll be an example to someone coming after you that sees this video to take their health seriously, talk about their health, talk to their provider, have discussions with their significant others and whatnot, and just take this by the horns because we have to do better for ourselves. We have to do better for ourselves. So I
Yes.
appreciate you joining us tonight to tell your story.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for having me.
I got one more question that just popped in. How has faith helped you maintain a positive mindset on this journey? Any scripture you can share?
Man, I mean, scripture for days. What's helped me the most? Philippians scripture talks about um, finally, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are praiseworthy, whatsoever things are of a good report, to think on these things. And so I think that to keep that positive mindset, um, I think that's what keeps me kind of locked in, what keeps me encouraged the most, and it's not to dwell on the negative, not to dwell on past mistakes, past missteps, but just to focus on where am I today, and what's praiseworthy about that, um, what's good about that, and those are the things that I need to reflect on in order to keep moving in the right direction.
Great answer. All right, with that, I got to close it out with these final words. So I want to close every show with two important reminders for men watching. First, this one is personal to me: prostate cancer screening. Screening no longer requires a digital rectal exam, it's a simple blood test, typically covered by insurance. For most men, screening should begin at age 50. However, if you're a black man or have a family history, such as a father or brother with prostate cancer, screening should begin at 45. But then again, if you're a black man with family history, you should probably consider starting getting your PSA checked at 40 to establish a baseline. Black men are 80% more likely to develop prostate cancer and twice as likely to die from it, largely because it's often detected too late after it has spread. So early detection is critical. Prostate cancer often has no symptoms. I had none until it's advanced. Second, colorectal cancer screening. Colorectal cancer is affecting younger and younger people. Early detection saves lives. There is approximately one diagnosis every 25 minutes in people under 50. It is now the leading cause of cancer death for men under 50 and one of the leading causes overall in that age group. So it's important to get that checked. Among the top five cancer related deaths, it is the only one increasing in younger adults. Men are more likely to be diagnosed at a younger age and more likely to die from it. Approximately 75% of patients under 50 are diagnosed with advanced stage cancer, that's stage 3 or 4. Screenings reduce mortality by up to 60%. Colon cancer is one of the most preventable cancers, but only if you get screened. So the men out there, take care of your health, take it seriously. No one is coming to save us. We have to show up for ourselves and for each other. And I'll leave you with this: iron sharpens iron. Thank you all for coming tonight. I'll see you on the next one, which will be March 24th with TT Trucker, also known as Positive T. I look forward to sitting down with him. Thank you again. You all have a great night.